Good morning. My name is Jaime Cole. I'm the Process Mining Director from Technofor, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about what process mining is all about and how you can create your optimization strategies by using an automated and objective technique that is going to help you to understand how your business is working. Let's begin by trying to create a definition of what a business is all about. We believe that a business operates through processes. Those processes will be started by a default trigger. That is, when something happens, I will require or I will need to start a process. And there's probably a predictable outcome. That is, I'm expecting that process to produce something that I know beforehand. In the middle, while I'm executing these processes, I will have some technology that is going to support the steps that are going to complete the process, and some people that are going to watch over what's going on. So there's technology, there's steps, there's people, all involved in this. Okay. Therefore, if we need to run processes, we need to basically work on what we call process intelligence, which is a three-phase process approach. The first one will be the modeling phase, on which I'm going to decide how my system is going to be, which steps I'm going to follow, what the workflows will be, what the triggers, what the outcomes will be, and there's many techniques on which I can choose from to define how my business is going to perform. Sometimes we can skip this phase by adopting a full solution like a supply chain, like an ERP, like like CRM. So they will have already in place those processes predefined. So I don't need to think about them. But I'm going to save some time on that. The second phase will be operation, on which I'm going to deploy my processes in systems. In our case, we are going to do it in Jira because we are an Atlassian provider, an Atlassian partner. And once I have my system running, one of the things that I normally do is I want to check if things are properly running. So I'm going to define some metrics like OKRs or KPIs. So they're going to tell me how my system is performing. If there's something that I want to watch out carefully, I might decide to put some alerts through active monitoring. So they're going to tell me when a situation is happening and the precise time. The last phase is the optimization phase, in which I know my system is operating, is running, but I need to understand if I can optimize it and get the most of the results that I have. And here we have some phases here, like analyzing processes. The final result will be probably automating some of the processes that I have through RPA, or scale my processes and try to redefine them again. Okay. In this session, we're going to be focusing on the analyzed process, which we believe is very important. It is something that most of the companies are going to do in the next 2 years, because that's the easiest way to understand the reality of your processes and your systems. So in the last 2 years, we have spoken with many customers, and we have identified 4 different situations. The first one is CTO that has acquired Atlassian Suite, and they want to understand if there's any optimization opportunities on the platform. Because there's some misuse, or there's probably other ways of getting the most of the platform, or things that we are not really using. The second situation is a PMO, is more focused on compliance. They want basically to understand if people are following the procedures, methodology, and processes that are defined, or maybe a team or several teams are doing things in a different way, and they can create best practices because basically they are already optimizing, not because they're not following the rules from the compliance, but because they have found better ways to do their jobs. Okay. The third situation is a more business-oriented, is somebody that is watching over all the business processes in the relationship between them, and they want to understand maybe what's the implication of the service management in all levels for all the business processes, because maybe there will be some information requirements at some point, or some I don't know, assets that needs to be in place in order to execute things. And the last one is the customer service management. Basically, they want to add value to the customers, anticipate demands, shorten the service times, and providing a better service for the customers and increasing the customer experience. So, if we summarize, there will be three main situations or common situations on which we will be having the need to understand what's really going on in our processes. The first one will be efficiency, trying to get the best or the most of the assets or the things that I have in my company. The second one is having a better customer services, and the last one will be compliance. Not only for internal compliance, but also for business, for government directives or regulations. Okay. So when we speak about processes, there's a real complexity, or the real problem with what we model and what is really executing. In the screen, you have a very straightforward process, incident management process, or request process, in which I will like to have always be executed through this yellow path, which is the yellow brick path, which is pretty straight. It's my happy path, but this is not quite what happens, because sometimes I need to wait for the customer to do some things, or for the agents, or I have to escalate it to a third party or another support level, or maybe even more complex paths on which the process can be executed. This doesn't mean that the process is not compliant, that the process is not executed properly. That means that there's some hiccups during the process that I have to understand. The thing here is, it might be very easy to understand one process at a time. That is, I can analyze the execution of one process from the beginning to the end. But imagine that you have 10 processes to analyze, or maybe you have 100, or maybe you have 1,000, or you have 1,000,000. That will be completely impossible. So we have to find a way in which we can easily understand what's really going on. And that's what process mining is helping us, basically, which is an automated and objective techniques that is going to take the events that are produced in our systems, and is going to help us to create, the first thing, a process model. Is going to draw for us the reality of our processes. The second one is going to highlight some diversions, like reworks, like loops, like delays, things like that. And very important, is going to also highlight some automation opportunities, which is one of the goals that we try to pursue when we speak about process excellence. So basically, what we are going to convert is this complexity that I showed before to a model that you have in the right, in which I can easily interpret what's going on. In this case, with the colors, you will see basically what are the processes that I executed most. Okay, and these little dots are real execution of the process and the time that is spending between transitions. Okay, basically, what we are just basically is reducing the complexity at all. But this is not rocket science. It's very easy what's going on. Basically, what we're going to do is we are going to rely on the system logs. In our case, we are going to use Jira software and Jira service management logs, event logs, to get information and transform it into something that we can easily interpret and we can easily use. Okay, and there's two main pieces in here. The first one is the identification of the processes themselves, and we're going to take the information with the identifier of the processes, plus the events on which, or the different status on which the process is going to pass during its life, and a timestamp is when this transition happened. With the information, I'm going to be able to create that model that you can see in the top right corner of the screen. But also, For analysis purposes, I'm going to also use business information, like context information that are going to help me to understand why some situation happening, or in which departments, or under what circumstances are happening certain things. So the combination between the required information, again, the event, the status, and the timestamp, plus the business information, is going to help me a lot to understand what's going on. So what at Technofor we have decided is to create an objective, automatic, and scalable solution to optimize the operational efficiency on for Jira customers. Okay, so if you're a Jira customer, we have created a solution for you that is going to help you to create your optimization strategy in days. In regards to ITSM, we have focused our efforts in 4 different use cases. The first one is the push-forward analysis. That's something that is common in ITSM, as what we want basically is to help to the incidents or the tickets to be resolved in as soon as possible. That is, we're going to try to push everything to the very beginning of the funnel. Okay. The second one is the big bang behavior. Is when level 1, level 2, level 3 externals are passing the ticket all around, and we want to understand when it's happening, why it's happening, and how can we prevent them. The next one will be the user weight analysis. One of the things that you probably have already seen is in the only incident management, there's a lot of waiting time for the user to provide the extra information, even though there's something that they requested at the very beginning. But it's quite funny that. But by analyzing what's going on in those steps, we can maybe apply some automation rules for closing, for requesting information, or even using artificial intelligence to get information that we cannot do it before. And the other one, which is very important, is the compliance one. Not because there will be new regulations from governments, from the European Union or from your local governments, but because internally we need to understand that everything is in place. Okay. For all these use cases, we are creating process mining accelerators. We will include proper dashboards and filters, metrics, and analysis guide, plus some other information that are required. So you will have we have a full solution just to analyze these 4 situations, and there will be new ones to come along. But how does it work, basically? Well, in the left-hand side, you have your Jira Service Management or Jira software. All these dots will be the events, business information, the transitions, all the processes. And we have created a piece of code. It's a connector that you can download from the Atlassian Marketplace that basically is saving you some time for the analysis of the data that you have in place and the transformation. So we get the right information required for do process mining, and then we can use whoever process mining tool. You have a list of some of them that we have already validated our solution against, and then you can start to create your optimization strategy by analyzing the information using one of these tools. Let's dig it a little bit down. As I said, at the very beginning, we have a Jira software, a Jira Service Management. We are going to use our Process Analytics connector that's going to extract and transform the information that is required for the process mining tool to create the process model. Okay, from this process model, you can create your optimization strategy, and you can either create additional dashboards that are not already in the process mining tool. As I was explaining, we are relying on the event transition between steps in Jira. So sometimes we don't know what's going on between one transition or the other. What we're going to do in this case is we're going to activate task mining, the task mining capabilities of these tools. That's going to give us insight of what's going on really in between the steps. Task mining is going to install a little agent on the officer's desktop, and it's going to record all the steps, all the things that are happening in between the things that I'm doing in Jira. That is, if I'm accessing an external system, if I'm sending emails, if I'm using a spreadsheet, or I'm doing some telephone calls that I can record in my system, are going to be also included in the process model. So it's going to be deeper information that I can use. And also, other thing that I can do is I can get information from other systems, maybe an ERP or CRM that is going to enrich what's going on here. So if I have the capability of tracing the information from the process in between systems, I can import that information in my process model. Okay, so with this, basically that will be enough to create my optimization strategy, but we can go further. Just because we have integrated information and transforming information that we get out from your Jira, we can start using some artificial intelligence tools to create prediction or prescription models, or even generative models that can come back to Jira, like SLA risk, SLA break risk, or things like that. So there's some things that we can do with information, because once we have trained the models, we can get very rich information out from the artificial intelligence. The last step will be the optimization itself, and here we can choose two different paths. The first one will be automation through RPA or use lesson automation, or we can decide to redesign my processes, because there's no room for automation. We have discovered that the process is not properly defined, so I need to go back again and redesign. Or maybe it's just a question of training, or adopting some other approaches for the different projects, or simply enforcing the compliance within all the teams that are using my systems. So one of the things that I want to also to point out is the differences between a traditional process mining tool project and a project with our approach. In a traditional project management project, process mining project, you will have some days for scoping, for defining objectives, and then lot of days for the preparation. That's very complicated. You need a data scientist to get information out, to transform it and prepare it, and then you will have at least 5 days for analysis. Now I'm going to fix that 5 days. With the process optimization for Jira and our process analytics component, we are shortening both the project scope and data preparation to only 3 days. So basically, we are saving a lot of days for analyzing other projects, and I think is a very good step forward. Okay. So lastly, I'm going to show you just a little bit of what you can do with process mining tools. In this case, you're seeing IBM. It's one of the tools that was shown in the list before. We will have process models like based on frequency, and depending on the color, the darkness of the color, you will see which process are being executed more. You have also the capability of compliance, that is comparing your happy path against the other processes. Everything that is in red, that's something that is not supposed to be executed, or we need to analyze what is executed. We will have a lot of specialized dashboards, which are quite interesting. Or resources map, that is which resources are involved in certain situations. You can also run simulations by changing certain parameters. You can see if I automate that particular process in a 30% and I increase the teams in here, or I swap the development team to a support team, what happens. So I can create a simulation scenario just before executing my optimization strategy. And also, you will have information about root cause analysis that's going to tell you why certain behaviors are happening, or what's the reason something is happening. So this is going to lead you to create a very strong and objective optimization strategy. So I hope you have enjoyed this short session. It was 20 minutes, and I'm sure that now you are a proficient in process mining, and if you need to speak with us, you have there my contact information. Thank you very much.